Hunter, thanks for coming back.
Department of Commerce and
Oh,
you heard of her?
yeah.
One of my favorites. She's on my brother.
Hey, how are you?
Hello, I'm Tessa Mayo,
You got
owner of this.
coming.
Yeah, I know this clapping experience. Huh? Yeah, it's really fun.
She stays busy.
We had over 200 trees down. And over 150 power lines down on this road alone. So a massive tree hit that road, and then
We appreciate it. Go ahead and top up your tanks on your way out.
They will.
isn't that crazy? It's like geodesic design, right?
Thank you for the email.
It's really
And I have 20 minutes.
highlight.
A lot of work. So you wanted my experience.
We're in the best case scenario.
And I followed your
All
directions.
right, we can get ready whenever you're ready.
Okay, great.
Morning, everybody. I'm Josh Stein. I am pleased to be joined here by Secretary of Commerce Lee Lilly, Brian King, the chair of the Rutherford County Commission. I also see Lieutenant Governor Walter Dalton here. Good to be with you. And pleased that Greg Hicks from the Forest Service is here. Of course, we're at the location that Tessa Mayo, this is Carolina Domes, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
They are hosting us here today, and what a beautiful, beautiful spot on this earth that you have. As you'll hear, Carolina Domes was hit hard by Hurricane Helene last September. They've been working really hard to recover ever since then. As I understand, the words are they are surviving but not yet thriving. And we want for them and all small businesses in Western North Carolina to thrive. My team has been working hard with the Dogwood Health Trust and the Duke Endowment to award more than 2,000 small business grants, and I'm proud that Carolina Domes is one of the recipients of that program. You are turning those funds toward recovery immediately, which is what we want. We, the state and the federal government, need to approach recovery with the same urgency, the same spirit of immediacy that Carolina Domes is. In February, I submitted my first budget request to the General Assembly calling for $1 billion to go toward housing, small businesses and farmers, infrastructure, and families. In March, I was proud to sign my first piece of legislation, a $500 million Hurricane Helene bill, going toward home reconstruction and repair, as well as agricultural aid. This allocation was critical, and it's already making a difference in the lives of people in Western North Carolina. We need every penny of that money, but that money is nowhere near enough. That's why I'm here today to $91 million from the General Assembly to go toward Helene recovery in our Phase 2 Helene recovery package. We're coming up on 8 months since the storm. That is more than enough time to comprehend just how much we lost during Hurricane Helene. In the face of so many unmet needs and unanswered prayers, it is time for the state of North Carolina to be bold. We need to commit to the people of Western North Carolina that the state is with them over the long haul. The $891 million I'm requesting will tackle the highest priority issues, areas that we cannot afford to wait for an uncertain federal assistance. It will move us forward on the path of recovery by standing up for small businesses, investing in housing, supporting debris removal efforts, repairing schools, and preventing wildfires. The first part of my request directs $260 million to strengthening the regional economy. Earlier this month, I met with a host of small business owners in Marshall. They are doing the best that they can to recover, and the progress they've made in the last 7 months is frankly nothing short of remarkable. But they're still having a hard time attracting customers, and they need to make ends meet. As I mentioned, our partnership has already awarded $55 million in small business grants that are helping get doors open and people re-employed. Even with more than the 2,000 businesses that are funding, businesses like Carolina Domes, 2.5 times other applied for funding, and were turned away because of a lack of sufficient resources. 2,000 got granted, 5,000 were denied. The need is still great. My budget requests small business assistance by offering forgivable loans and by assistance through the Department of Revenue. It also invests in workforce development to ensure that people have the skills that they need to do the jobs that the market demands. It promotes tourism so that people know Western North Carolina is open for business. And it repairs key attractions so they have a great time when they get here. My budget supports revenue-strapped local governments, which are struggling to balance their books after using their funds toward immediate relief. People need job opportunities, they need reliable public services, and they need a safe place to call home. My budget invests $113 million in creating affordable housing, investing in homelessness prevention for folks who have been displaced by the storm, supporting the nonprofits that are already doing remarkable work repairing and rebuilding homes, and providing rental, mortgage, and utility assistance for needy homeowners. It also puts $20 million toward food banks to ensure that our children do not go hungry. Rebuilding has many elements. It includes cleaning debris and repairing damaged schools, fixing our stormwater infrastructure and removing failing dams, rehabilitating our farmlands and cleaning up our streams, and fighting the wildfires that continue to plague our state. We've already seen a number of wildfire outbreaks across the state this spring, including in this part of the state. We recently learned from our federal partners that North Carolina has nearly 8 times the amount of fuel on the ground than we had a decade ago. 8 times more fuel on the ground. North Carolina is projected to have the highest risk of wildfires in the United States over the next year. That is a title we do not want. My budget calls for nearly $50 million in essential equipment and personnel to respond to wildfires and prevent them from breaking out. The final part of my budget request is related to federal funding. Many streams of federal support require a state matching component. The Department of Public Safety projects that our state will ultimately need to invest about $1 billion to unlock all of the federal assistance programs that we need. So for now, I'm proposing that we appropriate another $100 million to make sure that we continue to leverage the federal funds and keep them flowing into our state. This recovery is going to take a long time. My administration, though, is in this for the long haul. I know that the legislature is as well. I thank the General Assembly for what it has done to date, but now is not the time for us to take our foot off the gas. We have to continue to invest in Western North Carolina so that it can come back stronger than ever, and sooner the better. I look forward to partnering with the General Assembly to pass this budget proposal. We've done this before and we will do it again. So let's come together. Let's stand up for the people of Western North Carolina. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to bring forward Secretary of Commerce, Mr. Lee Lilly.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to be with you all today here in beautiful Western North Carolina. I'm Lee Lilly, Secretary of Commerce for the state of North Carolina. Just 2 weeks ago, I was in Madison County meeting with leaders in the towns of Marshall and Hot Springs. Went to Mars Hill, visited with the leadership of the Blue Ridge Parkway, and I learned more about their recovery efforts and needs since Helene devastated their communities, decimated their downtowns, and closed their trails. These mountains and its people had one message to me and one message they wanted us to share, and that was, come to Western North Carolina. Come spend your money, come spend your time, because we're working back and we need that investment of the people to come back to Western North Carolina. So I'm making that request today. Come to Western North Carolina. That's what my wife and my family are going to do this Memorial Day weekend. I'm a Eastern North Carolinian, usually end up on the coast for Memorial Day, but not this year. This year we're coming to Western North Carolina to enjoy the holiday. This time of year is incredibly important to the region as the travel and tourism season begins in earnest. Our tourism team at Visit NC are working with the governor and my department to support tourism and small businesses for the upcoming season. And in this governor's budget, we propose an additional $15 million in marketing and advertising for Western North Carolina. In Western North Carolina, this season starts with warm temperatures like we have today that are perfect for outdoor adventuring, and then finishes with the colorful palette of fall leaves as we move into fall. The recovery won't happen in isolation, and the small businesses, mom and pop shops, they all need us to spend more time on more money in these communities. These local economies are counting on the visits and the vacations to help them. We need to help them rebuild, and that's why Governor Stein's budget calls for $260 million to stand up for small businesses out here, as he's described. No matter what we do, we have to do so with urgency. When I took the job as the Secretary of Commerce, the governor asked me to be responsible for community revitalization and to manage a large federal grant, which I'll talk to you a little bit more about, but he said his first principle in recovery is urgency, and that's what we want to bring to bear today and every day. North Carolina was awarded by the federal government a $1.4 billion community development block grant for disaster recovery, which we will use to meet unmet needs, primarily in housing recovery, but also in infrastructure and economic revitalization. We submitted to the federal government an action plan, the fastest any state has done so in over a decade, and it's since been approved by the federal government. We're now in the process of financial certification and a grant agreement. And our mission is to open this program to the people of Western North Carolina this summer, get hammers swinging, and get people home. That's what urgency means to this administration. We're also responsible at Commerce for the Rural Economic Development Division for accepting applications for a separate $55 million grant program. The governor talked about the small business program. This is the Small Business Infrastructure Program, which was funded generously by the General Assembly. I want to thank Representative Eric Ager, who is here today on behalf of the General Assembly. This program will support small business infrastructure needs. Local governments will be the recipients, and they can spend these funds up to $1 million per applicant on public infrastructure like sewers, sidewalks, high-speed internet, all of which small businesses rely upon to get customers in their doors. This is a state-funded program, and it will help our small businesses in Western North Carolina come back stronger. So I want to thank Governor Stein for his leadership, for the leadership of local officials, for the leadership of small business owners, and all the ordinary people who work every day to help this region recover. Together, we'll help Western North Carolina rebuild and recover quickly as possible. And together, we'll continue to work with the General Assembly and our other statewide partners to provide the resources necessary that support Western North Carolina businesses, communities, and workforce. I now want to invite one of those great local leaders, the chairman of the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Brian King.
You know, I'm not a smooth talker. I was asked to be here today, and there were a couple of things they asked me to do. They said, tell us what it was like, what happened, and what's happening now. So I'm going to try not to get emotional about this, but here I go. We had declared a state of emergency for